Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna let it rain. Tonight we gonna let it rain. Tonight we gonna let it rain. Just like the sunrise, we gonna let it rain. Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna let it rain. Tonight we gonna let it rain. Tonight we gonna let it rain. Just like the sunrise, we gonna let it rain.
Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday if you're here in the present and, good morning, good evening, whatever, wherever you may be if you're watching in the future. If you are in the future, please do take a second to hit the subscribe button, ring the notification bell so you can join us for future shows. We would love to see you in the live chat. And speaking of people we're seeing, today I am joined by Kelly, the atheist queen of Detroit, who is
Hi, everybody.
Dragon Con. Hello, Kelly. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Pluses and minuses. I'm still alive.
Yeah, likewise. I understand totally.
I mean, maybe it's more than can be said for the president of the United States. We don't know. He hasn't been seen for a week now, and that's kind of fun.
Yeah, less seeing him is better. I don't even like talking about him because he's so uh something else. I'll just say that.
Uh-huh. Well, he does have that thing where he inspires to be like other dictators and whatnot, and the most dictatory dictator right now is North Korea, where
Yes.
the current fearless leader's grandfather is still the head of state. So maybe he's trying to do the whole necropsy thing.
Yeah, it's
It's
just
just,
I don't
oh
understand
goodness.
how people just I would say lack of better words, worship him, but
Yeah, yeah, but he's not the only asshole we have news about, and we are going to talk about goddesses today, but I do have some breaking news, in fact, that I've been putting it everywhere and I just want to share with y'all. So indulge me for a moment. Breaking Schadenfreude. Graham Glinner Linehan arrested at Heathrow Airport. Linehan, once a comedy writer, famously renounced his career to devote himself to calling for violence against women and complaining about his lost career, was taken into custody upon arriving in the UK on charges of inciting violence. The aggressive misogynist is currently facing charges for assaulting a young woman in public last year. He shared the social media posts that brought him to the attention of authorities this time with the Daily Mail, including this one. On his personal blog, the angry man who can't understand why physically attacking people is against the law wrote that he was locked in a cell like a criminal just because he committed a crime, and opined that the UK had become, quote, far too accommodating to the demands of violent, entitled, abusive men. Folks might remember Linehan from his infamous unrequited beef against notorious misogynist author Joanne Galbraith, whom he said failed to stand up and defend him, a man, when his decision to torch his career over hatred of women brought social consequences. He said at the time that her failure to stand up for his views made him feel isolated and toxic. As we all know, accommodating the demands of a violent, entitled man is what the UK is known for, according to Linehan. Of this incident, he blogged, quote, I was arrested at an airport like a terrorist. Then, a van was arranged to meet him on the tarmac so he, quote, didn't have to be perp walked through the airport like a terrorist. Despite acknowledging his privileged special treatment while proudly taking ownership of his public calls for harassment and violence against innocent people for political reasons, the self-described terrorist still felt the handling of his crimes was unfair to him. Quote, the stress nearly killed me, he blogged, also noting the police took him to the hospital to treat his apparent extreme fragility. He has been released pending court action on the sole bail condition that he refrain from further crimes involving public incitement to violence. Surely a statue will one day be raised to honor his unappreciated, self-inflicted martyrdom. It's Schadenfreude. So if you're not familiar, Graham Linehan, he's a famous Twitter file he used to be famous for other reasons, but he threw it all away, including his marriage, to become obsessed with hating trans people. Like that's all he does all day, every day. Like he wrote a comedy called Father Ted that was very big in the UK. They wanted to make a stage play out of it. And when he went to go meet with the producers, he couldn't stop talking about teenage girls' breasts. And they were like, we can't work with you unless you stop talking about teenage girls' breasts. And he blew up and was like, they're the most important thing in the world. And it's unreal how hateful this fucker is. And now he's mind blown that actually calling for violence got him in trouble with the law. So it amuses me.
Who would have thought?
Right.
That was like the Dragon Con, this past weekend. And so this lady, the black lady, as a matter of fact, came over, started talking to us at the table, and she was a Christian from my understanding. But what got me was she's from Florida. So we were talking about Shantez, and her response was like she feels that he's doing an excellent job. And we was like, well, why do you think that? And her response was, well, I said, they're trying to take away banning books and changing history and leaving our history and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And she started talking about, well, it's mostly him trying to stop trans from being taught, and that I'm tired of them trying to take over the agenda. And I said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "They might bring up maybe a chapter or a few lines in a book, but they don't take over the whole agenda of the school." I said, "Tell me you're transphobe, but I'll tell me that you're transphobe." "No, I'm not saying that." "Yes, you are."
Mm. Somebody just released a video yesterday. I forget the creator because I follow so many great creators, but the title was "Scratch a Transphobe and a Racist Bleeds." And yeah, it really
Very
rings
true.
true
Very
because
true.
here's this person talking to a black woman representing black non-believers about how people clamoring for the right to exist in public, to be represented and acknowledged as equal members of public is oppression to her. Like, these are the same arguments her grandmother used, you know?
Yeah.
The fuck?
So that
People
really
have no
got me.
self-awareness. I mean, obviously, you just heard Glinner describe himself several times in different ways
Yeah.
and not even realize it, you know? Oh, goodness. It's freaking wild. But you know what else is wild? Theistic theology, I suppose, because we can't call it logic, because when you include logic, weird things happen. Here's a meme I pulled from Facebook moments before the show started because it amused me. Let me see if I can make this bigger. Oh, we're very tiny. That's okay. It's just to read the meme. So this is God can't exist because of Eric, the God-eating magic penguin. Since Eric is God-eating by definition, he has no choice but to eat God. So if God exists, he automatically ceases to exist as a result of being eaten. Unless you can prove that Eric doesn't exist, God doesn't exist. Even if you can prove that Eric doesn't exist, the same proof will also be applicable to your God. There are only two possibilities. Either you can prove that Eric doesn't exist, or you can't. In both cases, it logically follows that your God doesn't exist.
I like that.
Yeah, it just it's an old one, but it tickles me. I mean, hell, a god-eating penguin is just fantastic, no matter what.
That's my friend.
Yeah, it's just I mean, he's adorable. Look at him. Can I do this? Oh, he's a little bigger. What about this? Oh, now he's offset. That doesn't work. How about nope? Now
Yeah.
we're in the way.
Yeah, I
I
don't
have
want me in
so
the
many
way.
buttons. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't want me in
it's
the way.
fine. It's fine. Oh, how about
He
this
said
thing?
gladiator. Somebody's a native atheist says gladiator penguin.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Ah! There it is. Okay. I found it. Oh, and now we're covered up. Oh, goodness. So suddenly it's a modesty stream. We're like peeking over the box. Oh my goodness. But yeah, it tickled me. And I'm like, today we're talking about goddesses. But I mean, it's just so perfect. Oh yeah. Oh, Jake
Yeah,
says,
that
"Is
was
that
funny.
why Trump wanted to tariff the penguins?"
I was reading that too. Good one. Oh, that's funny.
Oh, y'all are
I
the best.
believe so. I believe so. Yeah, that is exactly why.
Yeah, no doubt. Probably. Perhaps. Maybe. I don't know. I just work here, folks. Oh, and my microphone is doing
I'm
weird
just
things again.
visiting.
Yeah. That I literally do work here. This is I'm a Google employee at the moment. This is my actual job. So, I'm trying to take a page from Maya, our great goddess and matron
Yes.
saint of woke bitches. Um,
Yes.
and just
All hail.
straight up say what I want. If it wouldn't inconvenience you, if it wouldn't harm you, do feel encouraged to throw money in my general direction because I do like having electricity and occasionally food is nice. So yeah, it's one of those you put your hat out. I should get a hat graphic and just drop it at the start of the show. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I hate to put pressure on people because there's so many people, including people in the chat right now, who regularly do send super chats and other things. And I don't want to be like, I need more, it's just, it's a tough situation, but I digress. Goddesses. Who's your favorite goddess? We did a poll about favorite goddesses. I'm still finding all the buttons. I'm new at this, folks. Oh shit, we're tiny. Well, I suppose being tiny for this one's okay. I did a poll yesterday asking people about their favorite goddesses. And shit, this is tiny. Yeah, we can work with this. We can make it bigger. All right, who's your favorite? I know, Jester, it's still going to be tiny on your screen. Who is your favorite, most terrifying goddess? Join me today. We're going to do the thing. And also there may be other goddesses popping in. I don't know for sure. I haven't heard from anyone, but I sent an invitation and they might pop in when they can, when they feel like it, whatever. But we got 11 votes. The clear major minority, I suppose, was Kali at 45%. And next was other in the comments, because I can only do 4 options on a poll. So, other was option 4. Ashera got 18 and Nyx got 9, which, I actually expected more of Ashera, considering, there's so many former Christians in our general community. And hell, there's actually a current Christian. There's at least one. I do have a resident theist. I haven't seen him in a minute, but sometimes he leaves a comment on some of my older videos. So, James, if you're watching later, I'm, hi.
Ryan is in the chat, I just saw.
Yeah, James is a good guy. We disagree on a lot of theology and most of science, but he's not an evildoer, and that's an important distinction. Just because a person is very wrong doesn't make them evil. All right, before I get into those comments, we got to do some comments from, well, sort of comments, I suppose. Eric Wander gifted 10 Emberships. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate that very, very much. Eric is wonderful. He was just over at Mark Reed's last night for the Mark just had his 2.5K subscriber celebration special, and Eric dropped 50 on him, and Mark had to read them all out in his announcer voice. That alone was magnificent. But Eric's dropping memberships left and right, and we appreciate the hell out of it. Those went to Bo B. Weird, that didn't come up the right color. It's fine. Trevor Walsh, Brandon Rhinesmith, Irrelevant Noob, Planner Walk. Hey, I haven't seen Nikki in a long time. Ryan, Spooky Bed Hair, Poor Claire, Anarchic Fox. I'm not even letting him come up. I'm moving too fast. And Larkwright. I think that's everybody for that. So all you fine feathered folks do enjoy. Oh shit, I have screwed up my window size. Normally I type a bunch of sample emojis into the chat, because one of the perks of membership, just one, there are others like early access to videos and things, member streams, at least one a month. There's a whole bunch of things for membership, but one of the most obvious is the emojis, which are voted on by the members. When a new slot opens up, we've got a whole bunch of them. Most of the members picked. I didn't even get a say, because we're all, all about democracy up in here, or something like that. Perhaps. I don't know. But anyway, thank you, Eric. And do enjoy your emojis and other benefits. And also, Stardust Lil sends a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Lil, and says, "Take my damn money. We need you around, Ember." I appreciate that. I do my best. I do my best. I only had room, Lilith says. Ember, no, Lilith, I am offended. I only had room for 4. I should have known that people would be more interested in Lilith than Ashera. I'm a silly bean. It's fine. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Jester says, I know half of them, and wow, planar walk. Okay, so after Nikki came out, I made that response video, and because she'd been getting so much shit about coming out, including from her own community, she dropped by to see what the video was. It was the same video where I showed my dress for the first time, and Jester figured out my secret. But yeah, as far as I know, that's the only time she's interacted with the community. But she has interacted with the community. So that's pretty neat. Okay, comments on the thing. Ryan left a comment saying, as far as fierce, I love Anat. She is she is similar to Kali with her lust for war. She's the only goddess to have defeated death in hand-to-hand combat. That's pretty fucking
But
impressive.
I know. I
Yeah.
wish you could have came on here, Ryan, as well, but I know you're tired from your earlier show.
Yeah. Yeah. Only crazy people do one show and then immediately go to another one. I don't I'm not referring to anyone in particular. No, just crazy people generally. Yeah. Tori Swansiger says, I have a vote for two. First, Medusa. I know she isn't technically a goddess, but was a priestess, one could argue a high priestess at that, of Athena, who is a goddess. Everyone
Yeah.
knows that the story of how she was assaulted by Zeus in Athena's temple, and Athena turned Medusa into a monster.
Yep.
One take I heard within the last year was that Athena actually very much loved Medusa, and a final act of love turned Medusa into a monster so nobody else could hurt her like that ever again. And as I understand it, that is the correct interpretation. Every
Yes.
scholar of Greek mythology I've ever spoken with says, no, the whole thing about she was punished for being assaulted by Zeus, that's Puritan rewrites of the stories. In the original stories, Athena was like, I will give you the ability to protect yourself, even from him. And so that, but I mean, I could be misunderstanding things. I am a fallible mortal who does not have Athena's wisdom to guide me. Second is Lilith, Adam's first wife. I could see how people would see as kind of feral and a slight pain in the ass, but TBH, most good women I have met are LOL. And I think that Lilith would have been more than willing to submit and listen to Adam if he would have shown her and proven his credentials to Lilith that he was worthy of being submitted and listened to, besides the fact he was her husband and had male genitalia. And because he didn't do that, she responded accordingly, and down to hell she went. Shrug emoji. Tales of Lilith vary. I understand there's, even though she's not canonical, there's another canon that includes her in the story. But I don't know. I've heard different versions and different takes on things. One of my personal favorites was that when Eden was created, it was supposed to be like a neutral ground between God and the angels who had rebelled under Lucifer. And so that's what the earth was for, is to be the neutral area, which is why they play humans like chess pieces so much, though that may be taken from Greek legends, but whatever. So God created Adam and Lucifer created Lilith so that humanity would be a blending of both powers. And I always found that version interesting. Ambushed Apostate says the obvious choice is Ryan, and everyone here knows it. Ryan can be a scary goddess. Joe
Hey,
Thompson,
sis.
132, says Pele, when asked by a withered old man to share a plantain, be sure and do so. A withered old woman, whether to share a plantain. Oh my goodness. I'm having trouble reading. L. Trucker says, and Maya. Yes, Maya can definitely be scary. She has that capability for sure. And also Ishtar, which is also one of my favorites. That's one of the reasons I did put Asherah in there, because Asherah and Ishtar are kind of facets of the same thing, although their legends got combined later on. It's a whole thing. But, details. It's all details. So yeah, there's some really good offerings. Now, before we started, you were saying that Kali came to mind, but you had thought of another person. Was it Anat?
No, it was Sekma, who was an Egyptian goddess. That's what I
All
was
right.
thinking about as well.
Do you know how they? I don't know. Deviant
Um,
is
my
Deviant in
mind
here?
is blank right now.
Sethmore?
Sakma. Let me get the spelling of it. Hold on. I am not good with that spelling of it. Hold on. I am not good with
Let's
spelling. It is spelled Sekhmet.
STKHNET.
MET.
I don't know. I'm not finding anything.
Sekhmet.
SEKH. Okay, let's see. Sekhmet. Okay,
Sekma.
we've got a Wikipedia, which is always helpful. Ah, okay. I recognize this image with the
Yes.
like the
The
teal
head, the
koala
the
bear
the
face.
lion head, and then the woman's body. Yeah.
Yeah, left-handed Jedi says she is the head of a lioness, if I remember correct. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
I
correct.
should have just looked at the chat instead of trying to Google things before.
No,
Yeah.
Google is good. Google is
Yeah,
good.
it's all good. It's all good. So in ancient
Um,
Egyptian mythology, Sekhmet or Sokhmis from ancient Egyptian symbols, uh, is a warrior goddess as well as goddess of medicine. She's also a solar deity, hence the big old sun on her head, sometimes given the epithet of the Eye of Ra. Well, that's coincidental to me for a whole bunch of different reasons. It's a term that's been coming up a lot lately in many different areas, but it's also fascinating for its own right because Ra, of course, was like the attempt to monotheisticize the Egyptian pantheon, but they still kept gods anyway.
yes.
So she's often associated with the goddesses Hathor and Bastet. She's the daughter of Ra. Eye of Ra makes sense, and
Yeah.
is among the more important of the goddesses of the Egyptian pantheon. She acted as the vengeful manifestation of Ra's power. Scary goddess. She is said to breathe fire, and the hot winds of the desert were likened to her breath. She is also believed to cause plagues, which were described as being her servants or messengers, although she is also called upon to ward off disease and heal the sick. In a myth about the end of Ra's rule on the earth, Ra sends Hathor in the form of Sekhmet to destroy mortals who conspired against him. In the myth, Sekhmet's bloodlust was not quenched at the end of the battle, and this led her to going on a bloody rampage that laid Egypt to waste and almost destroyed all humanity. To stop her, Ra and the other gods devised a plan. They poured out a lake of beer dyed with red ochre so that it resembled blood. Mistaking the beer for blood, Sekhmet drank it all and became so drunk that she gave up on the slaughter and returned peacefully home with Ra. The same myth was also described as the prognosis texts of the calendar of lucky and unlucky days of papyrus, Cairo 86637. And of course, there's more. You can all read the Wikipedia if you feel like it, but that's pretty fucking cool. Like, she
Yeah, I
was
thought she
said
was
to be
amazing.
Ra's vengeance upon the mortals and
Yes.
understood the assignment so well, Ra and the other gods had to conspire to stop her.
I thought that's pretty fierce, if you ask me.
Yeah, I dig it.
Yeah.
She's definitely on the list for today. Holy crap. All right. A lot of people were big fans of Kali. I did prepare some videos because I didn't know how many people would stop by. Like I said, I sent out invites to a few people. They may or may not pop in at any given moment, but I do have some videos for us to learn more about these devilishly delightful divine deities. And I've got this one queued up to Kali. Let me, yeah, I'll make us tiny again so people
Okay.
can see better. As always, I'll try to interrupt frequently, but if you have something to say, just make noises and I'll pause the damn thing. All right, so Kali, here we go.
The Dark Mother. We begin in India with a goddess who is destruction incarnate.
I mean, accurate, but also, first of all, the first thing that strikes me before even the AI imagery is the AI voice. And I'm kind of wondering
Yeah.
if the script is probably AI also. So I'm sure it'll be
Yeah,
super accurate.
She is Kali. Kali emerges from the brow of the warrior goddess Durga, or sometimes Parvati, during battles against powerful demons.
Pavarti, isn't that a cheese? Is the cheese named for the goddess?
I don't think so.
I don't.
Mm.
I have to admit, I know very little about cheeses. I'm a shitty white girl. I know very little about cheeses. I'm thinking of Havarti, aren't I? Which, if I recall correctly, is
Yes.
a tasty cheese.
I've never had
She
that.
is the fierce, untamed aspect of the divine feminine. Her domain is time itself, the destroyer of all things, but also change and ultimately creation born from destruction.
That is a cool point, and I don't know if that's a legit part of her legend or not, but it reminds me of something my oldest child said when they were 11 years old. We were on a long car ride, and they were just staring out the window, and then all of a sudden, we're just like, you can't destroy anything without also creating something else. And I'm like, true, but go on. Like, I'm interested in where your brain is at. Tell me what you're thinking and why. And they explained that they were pondering a campfire because they just spent the weekend with grandma or something like that. And they said, well, when you burn the wood, you're destroying the wood, but it's not just destroyed. It leaves behind ash and smoke and creates light and heat. Similarly, if you want to create light and heat, you have to destroy the wood. You know, it's like you can't create without also destroying, but you can't destroy without also creating, whether you want to or not. And I'm like, that's actually pretty fucking cool for an 11-year-old.
Yeah.
So yeah, that all, I don't know. It brings it to mind, like the whole balancing thing, and it really resonates for me.
Consider the demon Raktabija, a terrifying threat. Every drop of his blood that hit the ground spawned a perfect copy of himself.
That's a hell of a demon ability. Every drop created a whole. Can you imagine if we had that capability? I mean, we almost kind of do as humans, if you consider humans to be copies, because we are imperfect copies of previous generations, ideally
Yes.
better adapted to our environments, but we're not perfect copies, right? So we kind of, it's not every drop of blood, but holy shit, we spread, you know?
Imagine fighting an enemy that multiplies endlessly the more you wound him. The
Right?
gods were desperate. The stake was cosmic chaos. Raktabija threatened to overwhelm the entire universe with his infinite clones. Enter Kali. She strode onto the battlefield, a fearsome sight with her dark skin, wild.
Okay, so before they tell us how Kali defeated this self-replicating demon, how do you think you might have fought this demon?
Do I have do I have all kind of power?
Yeah.
Let me think. Mind control would be what I would use,
Oh.
to have them change to do my bidding.
Turn your adversary into your
Yeah,
tool.
yeah. He'll be my
It works
tool.
for me now. Haha.
Exactly. You
Yeah.
know, you're
I
gonna
I was
do.
thinking if it's strength, is that when it bleeds, it replicates. You have to find a way to destroy it that doesn't include making it bleed. Just don't do the thing that makes it more powerful. And so you could, like, they mentioned Kali has the power of
That makes
time.
sense.
Like, just trap it in a time bubble until it starves to death or something,
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's what's happening. Maybe that's what the universe is. Maybe we're the demon trapped in a time bubble, and instead of starving, we like keep making copies, like all living things, not just humans, keep making copies, and then the copies can eat each other to try to not starve. I don't know. I'm reaching way too far into this.
It is fun though
necklace
to
What's that?
I was just saying it's fun to imagine things and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not really.
So she's got a necklace of severed heads, also kind of terrifying.
of severed heads and a skirt made of human arms. Her
Wow.
Oh
solution was
wow.
brutal,
Human
direct,
arms.
and terrifyingly effective. She fought Raktabija, but as he bled, she extended her massive tongue and drank every single drop before it could touch the earth.
That would work too. Yeah.
So is she like a vampire or some sort? Is what it seems like.
She's just I don't think vampire exactly. She doesn't need the blood. She's just like
It's just a
terror
snack.
made manifest. Like it's almost like she's wandering around going, "What is the most horrifying way I could handle this? What could I do that would freak this demon the fuck out and be like, this bitch is too hardcore for me?"
I guess
That's
looking at this stuff, it just has me so astounded that all these other religions and stuff had women being as powerful as men. But when you look at the Bible and the Christianity, they don't really have women of any sort of being powerful, you
women.
know,
I think the most powerful things women do in the Bible are
just have
get
kids.
pregnant, take away a man's power, when Samson's hair gets cut, and
Yeah,
save a man from his own stupidity when I think it's Abram's wife
yeah,
slices and dices his naughty bits to keep Yahweh from destroying him. Um, but I
that's
mean,
it.
that's why it is that way, because these goddesses, not just Kali, but like all the goddesses in all of these pantheons, they're so terrifying. The men had to cook up a religion that kept all power from women because they were so afraid. They built the patriarchy because they're afraid of women.
Yes,
And it's just amazing. So, oh, wowzers.
very much so.
Yeah. So I only know one story of Kali myself, but it is one of my favorite stories because it has to do with justice and balance, not just darkness and power. And that's another aspect. So Kali, as the destroyer, decided to go for a stroll in the Punjab one day. And she decides to fuck with the mortals a little, as one does. And so she comes across the first mortal she finds, a traveler on the road, and she leans down and whispers in his ear, 10 more lives until nirvana. And he starts screaming and moaning and bitching up a storm like Graham Linehan. He's so entitled. I should go to nirvana, and like I'm so ready. This life is all blah blah blah. He's just having a fit. And so she snaps her fingers and he restarts. He's transformed instantly into a worm, and he has to go through
Wow.
the entire cycle all over again. She comes across another traveler and she whispers in his ear, 10 more lives until nirvana. And he just kind of acknowledges it and shrugs and rolls with it. And so she leaves him be because he has accepted his fate. And then she comes across a humble farmer working by the side of the road, and she whispers in his ear, 10 more lives until nirvana. And he looks up at her with this giant smile on his face, and he says, "Really? I get to live 10 more lives?" And she snaps her fingers. Instant nirvana because he was fucking worthy.
Wow.
I know
Yeah, it's
I
like
dig that story because it shows like not only that she can be very, very just, but also it reinforces the idea of having a positive outlook towards life, no matter your struggles. He's a poor farmer working on the side of the road,
Yeah,
but he's still happy to be alive.
exactly.
It's a pretty cool story, I think, anyway.
I think so as well.
Yeah.
No blood, no clones. Problem solved. But Kali's fury, once unleashed, wasn't easily contained. Flushed with victory and the blood of demons, she began a destructive dance that threatened to shatter the world.
Oh no, women dancing! It could shatter the world!
Oh no!
I understand that's why the patriarchy outlawed dancing too. All right, I need there's stuff happening in the chat. I need to pay some attention to it because I'm bad at my job. Sumami says, so Durga is born when Asura gets granted the ability to be defeated by no god. So they bring about Durga from Shakti so that a woman can defeat him.
Mm,
That's probably where Tolkien got the idea for, that famous bit in Return of the King, where one of the Rohirrim soldiers takes on the Witch King, and he's all, "No man can defeat me," and she fucking just stabs him in the face and is like, "I am no man. You're dead, bitch." I don't know. I mean, I like that section, but it always struck me as like a harmonic from some older legend, and maybe that's the older legend.
yeah.
Sumami goes on to say, Kali is later born from Durga's third eye in one story. In another, she gets called forth to fuck things up when Pavarti gets enraged by Ganesha, her son, being killed. Eowyn, yes, Bree knows. She is Eowyn. That's it, yeah. Yeah, like Jester, I too am bad at names.
I guess
So,
I'm
yeah.
likewise.
Yeah, names are hard. This is why we invented pronouns, so we can pretend we know who we're talking about when we can't remember a name. That reminds me of another story, which is probably apocryphal because I've heard it repeated all over the internet, but it strikes me as funny. This person says, and I don't even know the person. It's just an internet story. But this person goes to like their high school reunion and sees someone and cannot remember their name and is trying to devise how to not be rude about saying, I can't remember your name. And the person comes up and says, hey, let's say David. Hey, David, it's great to see you. I'm trans and my name now is Lily. and David, our hero, is like, oh, how wonderful, Lily. Like, that
Yeah,
was it's easy button,
yeah. Easy button.
Yeah. It's handy when people just, you know. Chester says thanks for the solidarity. Oh goodness.
Yes.
Tsumami says the rhyming is all part of it. Sanskrit in mantras and Puranas? Am I reading that? I'm probably not reading that right. Is meant
Yeah.
to be chanted in a specific tone and rhythm. That's fucking cool. Bree
Yeah.
says there are 1,100 named characters in Tolkien's Legendarium, which may be why I never read the Legendarium, because
Me
holy crap.
either. That's why. Okay.
I actually I have to admit, I'm awful at being a proper nerd. I never made it through the Silmarillion. I tried 3 times and I just could not get into the story.
Have I
It
even
was
heard? I don't think I even heard of that. I'm a
it's
little
it's
off.
it's in the same world as Lord of the Rings. It's just, a
Okay. No, I
1,000
never
years
heard of it.
earlier or
No.
something like that.
Okay. So it's a
Yeah.
prequel, sort of like.
Kinda. I'm not sure which one was
Okay.
actually written first. I
Okay.
know Tolkien had said that he had been working on the Silmarillion for, like, 1,000 years or something. Um, and so it was sorta like the world building exercise that went into eventually creating The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, but it may have been actually formalized and then published after.
Okay.
But again, my nerd knowledge is lacking on that one.
Okay.
Bree says, I read the Silmarillion at least once a year. I mean, I grant that it's a cool story. It sounds amazing. There's so much history that's so fucking cool. It's just the way the story is told, at least as of the last time I tried it, I just couldn't get into it. I'm honestly, The Lord of the Rings is a little bit hard. Like, I have to switch gears in my brain and be like, enjoy the journey, let it take its time, because it's a much slower pace than a lot of novels that I grew up on, you know? And
Yes.
it's a great story, but Silmarillion is like a 10th that velocity, you know? It just
I guess who is this gesture? Simulator started first, but no one will pick it up. Okay. Makes sense.
it's very heavy. It's very heavy. Bree says Morgoth is so much sexier than Sauron. I can imagine. I mean, who wouldn't be interested in more goth?
Hey Bree. Good to see you in the chat.
Yeah. We got Bree hanging out, we got Ryan hanging out.
Ryan.
Of course,
Yeah.
Sumami's dropping knowledge bombs on us. There's a decent chance Maya is listening, but is in the middle of traveling and so can't type.
Yes.
Which is
So
why
hey
we only say
Maya.
nice things about Maya, because
Yeah.
the
She
goddess
is the
is
goddess of
probably
the woke
listening.
bitches. I don't want no smoke.
I know. Well, you know, if you piss off Maya, she gathers the woke cult and cancels you, which is at least as terrifying as Kali. That's a joke having to do with the whole Mythovision drama, which I realize I have not actually talked about on this channel, nor do I plan to. But it is a hilarious, if you're familiar with the general community and all the nonsense around that, it's a great joke. Take my word for it. Yes, Aunt Jerry says more goth. That's right.
The consequence of her unchecked power was the potential end of all creation. The gods panicked. It was her consort Shiva who finally calmed her. He lay down beneath her feet. Realizing she was trampling her husband, Kaylee finally stopped.
Kali, you AI fucker, but also like, I'm sure she actually did have the husband situation before fighting the demon monster, but the way the story was laid out in this video, she's created to fight the demon monster, you know? So like, when did she get married? Where'd this come from?
Shocked back to awareness. Kali is fearsome because she represents untamable power, the necessary destruction that precedes creation, and the consuming nature of time itself.
Oh, I see. The drinking of the blood thing, the stealing away of the life essence. That's time. In it's not really personified, it's more like deified, I guess. Jester is here to remind us that Kip Davis has written no books at least 5 times. And that's probably true. You know, I mean, as a reporter, I have looked into it, and I have to say, from the man's own mouth, quote, Kip Davis has written no books. So, I mean, case closed right there, right?
He is the womb and the tomb. 2. Sekhmet.
Okay, that's
Oh, they do talk
it
about segment.
for that one.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
it
That's
brings
good.
us right into our first subject of conversation. So let's see what given that we just did research on this, let's see what the AI has to say
Okay.
about our new favorite, Eye of Ra. Hell yeah.
The Eye of Ra. Now, let's travel to ancient Egypt. Meet Sekhmet, the lioness goddess. Sekhmet is the daughter of the sun god Ra, and she was his vengeance. Her domains include war, destruction, and plagues.
I mean, that seems
Badass.
redundant, right? Because like
Yeah.
destruction includes both war and plagues already, so she could just be destruction. which makes her kind of related to Kali in that respect. Like, yeah, just we're just
Exactly.
wrecking everything up in here.
Exactly.
Fuck you all in particular.
but ironically, also healing. She who brings disease can also cure it. The story
That makes sense. It's that built-in balance situation, you know? If
Yeah.
I mean, in reality, that's not how things necessarily work. Cause like, I can stab a fucker. That doesn't mean I can unstab a fucker, you know? It doesn't work that way.
Well, you stab somebody, then you take their body parts to heal somebody else. So, balance and effect.
I'm sure that works,
Yeah.
probably. I mean, that's what a
Destroy
transplant is.
somebody to save somebody.
Yeah, you stab somebody and you take out their body parts and then put those body parts in another person who needs them and stitch it all together, and ta-da, you have at least one living person when you're done,
Listen,
if you do it right.
if you do it right, yes.
Yeah.
story goes that humanity grew arrogant. They began plotting against
Humans grow arrogant? What?
How dare
That
they?
never happens.
How dare they?
Hubris is for gods and kings. Us mortals must settle for simple arrogance.
the aging sun, god Ra. Enraged, Ra plucked his own eye from his forehead, and it transformed into Sekhmet. Her mission...
So Ra became the one-eyed god. We've heard this one before, too, from other
Well,
pantheons.
we took the eye and made her. Is that what I'm understanding? Is that what you're
Yeah.
saying?
Actually, this is sort of, it showed it may be independent innovation. It happens. We're talking about thousands and thousands of years of human history viewed from the present. But we have multiple one-eyed gods in other pantheons, and we have also multiple goddesses interested in war coming from the head god's head, right? Like that's Athena's whole thing. So maybe they're related.
Hmm.
When I was younger, my father and I tried to trace back, seeing, similarities that look like evolutionary homologies in many different religions. We tried to trace back and see if we could uncover the original religion, which of
Okay.
course isn't actually possible because most humans started with like veneration of ancestor worship or animal spirits, river spirits, that sort of thing, and things developed over time. But
But
it does
sorry.
it does seem like the concept of there being people in the sky sort of thing originated in only two places, and there may be overlap further back, but we weren't able to pin it down. This was before the internet existed, so we were working with like libraries and book loans and shit.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
But it seemed like India had it, and a
Okay.
lot of their mythology seemed to be stories of mortals that gradually got enlarged, the same as we see in like Celtic folklore. And
Okay.
the other place was Scandinavia, where they came up
Okay.
with a three god concept, which it was basically the animism, the spiritism, the essence of place and all that stuff got fused together into collective beings, like the spirit of the river and the spirit of the lake and the spirit of the sea were all just aspects of the same water divine being, that sort of thing. And so it went back to the fundamental elements, except they had agency and will and whatnot. And so we had water, Danu, if you will, the mother of all life, and Dylan, who was the earth and was the nurturer of all life, because life came from the ocean but reached maturity on land. That's where you get trees and people and advanced things, not simple fish and crabs. And above them all was T-Ways, the sky god, who again was more sky than God, but there were some personification elements, what with the whole agency and whatnot, who saw everything and so knew everything, but was very, very lonely. And because there was no one to talk to, really. He's up
Yeah.
there in the sky. And so he sent lightning down, a spiritual force to bridge his world of the gods with that of the mortals. And he used it to create fire, which would be the first technology that could lift up the mortals to begin to understand knowledge and wisdom and learn things and study nature and all this stuff that would eventually cause some mortal or other to be able to communicate with him, and he would no longer be lonely. And unfortunately for him, it took billions of years, but finally, this one species of crazy, nearly hairless ape went, hey, fire lets me make bacon. And thus began the greatest catastrophe the planet has ever known. Or so the story seems to go, because again, we're reverse constructing it from existing religions working backwards, but it was still kind of a fun undertaking. That tangent brought to you by us noticing similarities between this goddess and other divine being stories from other cultures. Just to explain where the hell that tangent came from.
Punish mankind. And punish she did. Sekhmet descended upon Egypt in a terrifying bloodbath. As a lioness goddess, she tore through villages, slaughtering humans with savage delight, wading through blood. She was relentless. The stake here was nothing less than the complete annihilation of the human race.
So she understood the assignment. It's what she was literally created to do. So what's the problem? And also, why are there still humans? Like, that's her whole thing.
Her fury was so immense.
What's that?
No, I was just agreeing with you.
Okay. Yeah, it's interesting how sometimes she's a lion and sometimes she just has a lion head. Like, we know a lot of the Egyptian gods had animal heads for various reasons, but like, even if it was only the head, she's got like a lion's sense of smell. So I'm wondering about what we read earlier. Like, how were they able to trick her by making the beer look red? Like, she would know it's not blood, you know? Because like beer doesn't smell like blood
at all.
Yeah. Oh goodness.
She threatened to wipe them all out. Even
threatened? That was what she was created to do. Karen Butcher's here, and she says she understood the assignment. That's right. That's what I'm saying.
Ra became alarmed. He wanted punishment, not extinction. But Sekhmet was lost in her bloodlust. How could they stop her? Direct confrontation was impossible.
Was it? She's his eyeball. She's one eyeball. Like, he still has the other eyeball.
Yeah, so he should know what she's doing.
What if, right, like we talk about how the sun isn't just the symbol of Ra's manifest powers in the world, it is also the eye of Ra, right? Because it's like one big fucking eye looking down from the sky. What if there used to be two? What if this legend is recounting that thousands and thousands of years ago, long before writing was discovered, because these legends are passed down orally until the cultures develop some form of writing to be able to record them. So this could very well predate writing by more thousands of years. But long, long in the past, what if our solar system had two suns? And this is a recounting of that. I mean, from astrophysics, it's probably not true. It's almost certainly not true, because a second sun, even in the outer system, would disrupt the fuck out of the orbits of the planets. You know, we would see signs that there had been a sun. But that said, we did find a star with I think it was the Sloan 2mm survey. Again, I may be mistaken because I'm a fallible mortal, but we found a star, a rogue wandering red dwarf star that, according to its trajectory and speed and whatnot, passed through our outer solar system about 50,000 years ago. Now, that is a long fucking time for a legend to persist amongst pre-writing humans. But on the flip side, before writing, all history had to be passed down orally, and so legends persisted for quite some time because that was how new storytellers, new history tellers were trained. Now, I realize this is like Atlantis levels of conspiracy theory because that's exactly what I'm drawing on. Remember when Plato wrote down the story of Atlantis, he referred to it being a legend from 10,000 years before his time. And maybe that date is not accurate, but which direction is it not accurate? Is it actually from 2,000 years before his time? Or could it be 50,000 years before his time? Who's to
My
say?
question is with the sun thing, were they around at the same time during this time? So was it never darkness?
Maybe. Maybe we had that
Yeah.
second star 50,000 years ago passing through the outer system, and astronomers at the time recognized that it was in fact a sun. I mean, the Greeks would have called it a planet because it was literally a wandering star, but whatever. But it was too far to nuke the Earth, but it was close enough to fuck up the orbit of Pluto, chuck some new comets our way, which is why we still have comets today, perhaps. Something disturbed the Oort cloud relatively recently,
Yeah.
and wandered on its merry way. And perhaps that caused, maybe it was a comet, maybe it was something else, but it caused the cataclysm that destroyed Atlantis. See, we're weaving our ancient legends together here. It's fun. And we're totally not creating new religions. This is not how religions happen. Wink, wink.
Somebody comment, Amber is still pretending to be immortal.
Yep, that's Jester. Jester knows all my damn secrets and needs to shut the hell up about
Now, why
them.
you tell us? Super Amber.
Yeah, the video I was referring to earlier with Planar Walk, like I was low key, not exactly coming out, but like laying the signs like Easter eggs for people who knew what to look for. That something was pending. It was just waiting on the right circumstances, kind of thing. Literally being an egg. And Jester was the only one, at least the only one who told me explicitly, I see what you did there. And I'm not going to elaborate further.
So Ra devised a clever plan. He ordered vast quantities of beer to be brewed and dyed red with ochre or pomegranate juice, making it look exactly like blood. Thousands of
Bree says Planar Walk was one of my eggs. I would like a more explanation. Planar Walk coming out
Yeah.
cracked your egg, or you coming out helped crack Planar Walk's egg, or which way does that go, and how, and things? Because again, we stand Nikki here. We love all our science friends, and when they happen to be trans Kiwis, even better. But
Yes.
I don't. We don't actually talk. She left one comment on one video that happened to be about her. Okay, Bree says she came out to me after she responded to Matt Powell's vid about me and Surus. Okay, so that goes into the deep history of the community. Bree caught Matt Powell's attention. Dead name, pre-Bree, challenged Matt Powell to a debate. Matt Powell ran the fuck away like a cowardly little boy. And then after Bree began to emerge, Matt turned back around and made a video picking on Bree, got the dead name completely wrong, which itself was fucking hilarious. Like, how incompetent can you be? And I know Bree responded to it, but apparently Nikki also responded to it, which I was not aware of. So that's fascinating. Matt Powell causing trouble. Shock
What's
and
new?
surprise, right?
What's new?
Yeah.
Jars were poured out, flooding the fields where Sekhmet planned her next massacre. Thirsty from her rampage and seeing the red liquid, Sekhmet eagerly began to drink.
She's a lion with thumbs and also glasses, apparently. Like, I mean, I'm not going to assume it's plastic, but like, that's not how lions drink. But also, like, yes, the Sahara is full of sand. You could conceivably make glass and therefore could make glasses, even though all the remains and artifacts left over from ancient days are clay, but whatever. Oh, goodness.
Let
Bree
me say
says,
hi
of
to
course.
AJ before we go
What's
back.
that?
AJ's here, so I'm saying hi, AJ. How are you?
Hell yeah. Yeah, AJ's up to something and isn't
Yeah,
able
she
to join us
always
today,
is.
but she's watching. She's doing stuff. Bree said, of course, Surus isn't even trans that we know of. No, I'm pretty sure Surus has faced the gender dead in the eyes and sorted out all of that. I'm unlike most cis people who never fucking question. I am positive Surus questioned and came out cis on the other side. So his gender identity is definitely valid, but he's also very, very, very trans positive. I don't know if they're still together because I don't watch Surus as much as I once did, but he did have a significant relationship with a trans girlfriend, I suppose. I'm not sure how
Okay.
serious the relationship was. That's my hesitation. But let's say girlfriend for the sake of argument. So he has dated a trans girl in addition to just being, a generally stand-up progressive person,
Okay.
which of course makes him the enemy of conservative, lying, patriarch idiots like Matt Powell. Just by being who he is. Because that's what Matt Powell and his ilk are all about, is hating you for who you are. It's very loving, very Christ-like.
Yes.
Speaking of loving, let's hear more about our drunken blood goddess.
And drink, and drink. She became completely intoxicated, her murderous rage forgotten in a drunken...
Wasn't she already intoxicated with the bloodlust? I know, they mean a different thing. Jester says Surus is still with his girlfriend and they live together.
Oh.
Neat. We stand.
stupor. She fell asleep, and humanity was saved. Sekhmet's fearsome nature comes from her divine mandate for destruction, her connection...
Right? That's what she was created to do. Like, here, go destroy. And then she destroys. And then they get mad about it. Like, as a spectrum person, this kind of thing pisses me off. It's like you get told, this is what I want you to do explicitly. And then you do that thing, and people go, not like that. Well, the fuck? The fuck, man? What do you want from me?
to devastating plagues, the raw, uncontrollable fury of a predator unleashed. 3.
I don't know that predators
know
really
about this
experience
one.
fury. Because they're not mad, they're just hungry, you know? Like a lion doesn't
Yeah.
wipe out all the ibexes, it takes down one ibex to snack on. And then
Yeah.
it's done, you know? Like it's not really fury, it's just hungry, you know? I don't know. I'm a silly bean, probably. So the Morrigan, I have a longer video on. I don't think we'll have time for it today, but fascinating story from my people. This is Irish folklore now. And you know what? I think I actually would rather do that one because this AI stuff is kind of not, I'm not loving it. So let me see here. Here's the specialized video specifically about the Morrigan, whom I realize I'm mispronouncing because I have a terrible American accent. I was born that way. It's fine. I wasn't born that way. Nobody's born with an accent.
I
What are you
get teased
talking
by
about?
my children with how I pronounce stuff, so join the club.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything. Oh,
What's that?
I was saying I didn't know anything about the Irish folklores and stuff like that. I wasn't really
Oh, it's
familiar with
so
this.
weird. There's so I only know bits and pieces that I've picked up. I've tried to learn Gaelic several times, and every
Okay.
time I find somebody willing to teach me, they immediately die. Like with it before the first lesson. And I'm like, oh, I need to stop asking people. I'm killing off the Gaelic teachers. It's happened
Stop.
3
Stop
times.
now.
Yeah. Like,
Ugh.
holy shit. But I have picked up bits and pieces of the legend, and also from, reading what books I can get my hands on. I know more about the unseelie folk than the
Okay.
gods, but
Okay.
the legends are all kind of intertwined, and it's pretty neat.
Okay.
The Morrigan. The Morian. Of all the videos I could have chosen to use my real voice, this one is probably the worst. Celtic names can be particularly difficult to say, and even if you ask 2 different Irish people, thanks Chris and Philip from work, both of them will give you a different answer, because apparently making some letters silent is optional.
In fairness, that's true in English also. Irish is notorious for that, but it's not just Irish that does that. Fox says, I was going to offer to teach you, Ember. Now, it may
Yeah, I don't
not
want
be
to
safe.
die. They don't want to die, so they're not going to.
It's a curse. I actually have been cursed a few times. One of them was I had a fortune teller. She wanted to tell my fortune. I was like, I don't mess around with it. It's just it's silly. I don't have time. And she took offense. And so she cursed me. She said, you will only know love 3 times in your life. You'll only have 3 serious relationships.
That many?
And it turned out she was right, kind of. Because like there was not to get into too much detail and tangent us too far, but there was my first serious girlfriend, and we broke up in tremendous drama, and I mean unbelievable drama, as teenagers are wont to do. And then there was my partner that I had children with, and then there was one person after that who was serious, like serious. And then I transitioned, so that life is done. So it came true. Like I had 3 in that life.
Somebody must have secretly cursed me then.
Yeah,
I don't know
it was
about the secret curse. Damn you, whoever
I
you are.
know. It's almost like the fates have cast our lives ahead of time by seeing outside and beyond the curvature of time, or something. I don't know. But speaking of fates, it's kinda what we're doing here, as I understand it.
Before we
You look like a back.
So without further ado, welcome to the mysteries of mythology, the Morian. A warrior rides towards battle.
So we do have some AI images in this one also, obviously, but it's a real human speaking. And the thing about the languages, the joke earlier on, tells me that a real human wrote the script too, or at least
Okay.
most of it. So considering the alternative, I think we can live with a few AI images.
His face hardened with resolve, but inside his heart is pounding with fear. The path he follows is well trodden, but today something feels different. Something feels off. As he nears a small brook, he sees a woman leaning over, washing clothes in the water. He doesn't recognize her, but there's something unnerving about her presence.
A woman washing clothes. Very unnerving.
How dare she clean her clothes?
I know, like the arrogance, the presumption, or something. I don't know. Oh, goodness. Karen says, "New you, new life, 3 new loves." Maybe we'll see. Who knows? Bree says sometimes it's fun to joke about the AI images and stock footage. AI voices can be grinding. It's true. It's
I
true.
agree.
I remember when AI voices used to sound like a speak and spell. I kind of miss the Stephen Hawking generated voice. Like, it was fucking iconic, but because it was associated with Stephen Hawking. No, you know.
The clothes she's washing, soaked in blood, look eerily like his own. His breath
Oh.
catches in his throat, and he tries to convince himself it's just a coincidence. Then she turns and locks eyes with him. In that instant, a cold rush of terror grips him, like an icy wind freezing his very soul. He blinks, and she's gone, vanished. But deep down, he knows what he saw, and worse, he knows what it means. His time has come.
Dun, dun, dun. I gotta get that sound. I gotta redo my sound effects. I know. Long ago, when in the first incarnations of my live shows, I had like a full soundboard, and the dun, dun, dun was one of them. And it always came in on a delay. So I'd hit it, it wouldn't come, and then someone would start talking, and then it would interrupt them with a thunderous dun, dun, dun. But I do need to rebuild my soundboard. I had so many cool effects. Sumami says, "Yep, I need a sexier one." I agree. We all need sexier soundboards. That's not what she's talking about. It's fine. Rubix is here. Hello. Rubix has been around the channel for a very long time, but seldom manages to catch a live these days. Good news, though. At least for this week, possibly into the future, but at least for this week, I'm doing semi-morning shows every day from 11 to 1-ish Eastern time. So, we're more regular around here. We're having fiber. And that may continue in the future, depending on how this goes. We may start doing Java and Jugs again if we can get the technology fixed so we can do it. I don't know. But for this week, we're going to be here in this time slot.
I would try to be on as much as possible, even though today I knew a little bit about goddesses and things like that, but not enough to talk for 2 hours. So you're the Batman of the episode, and I'm just the Robin today. But I am gonna have to leave because I'm heading back to Detroit, and I'm in Atlanta still. So my flight leaves in a few hours. So I'm heading out now to go back home. But it's
Gotta go
always
do a
great to
travel.
be in. Yes, it's always great to chat with you. Always great to be in your lives with you. And I will probably be on with you tomorrow. What is the topic tomorrow?
I don't. How should I know? I only scheduled the damn thing. Let me look real quick. I mean, in fairness to me, I'm working on so many things.
Yes, you are.
I'm
Yes.
still I'm editing my segment for transpositions this week, and
Okay.
like I did get it recorded. I'm in editing phase now, but like that's just one of the things that I'm working on simultaneously. So I can't keep track of it, of what is happening when. Let's see. What is tomorrow? The 3rd?
This
Oh,
is the
it's
third. Yes.
I actually should promo what's coming up the next day so people come back and watch it. Kelvin from Answers in Genesis Canada tried to debate an AI. He thinks he won. I'm not so sure. We're going to look at it. But that's the topic, is
Okay.
programming as in a robot versus indoctrination, like Kelvin. I mean, he's literally a conspiracy theorist. Who would win?
Hmm.
A person with no brains by programming, or a non-person with brains by programming?
But who programmed the AI? So that's another thing to think about.
Yeah, well, the neat thing about large language models like that is they're at least partially self-programming. Like, the main framework is programmed into them, but then they're just given a bunch of data, and they have to
Okay.
ingest and process it, you know? So it's weird and fascinating, but, Rubik says, "Nice, I've been busy. I had surgery 2 weeks ago. I hope you're feeling better and that the surgery fixed
Yes.
whatever it needed to fix." It's a
Quick
thing that I've been dealing
recovery.
with myself recently.
Yes, I
Um,
understand.
yeah, it's an oof. I've taken up being an editor for another YouTuber in the debunking sphere as well. That's pretty cool. So yay, work on things. Good. Fox says, what does the fox say? I know I make that joke at least once a week, but
Mr. Fox, what time is it?
yeah, I just noticed that someone gifted me an Ember ship just as my last one expired. Thank you to whoever you are. I mean, if it was today, it was Eric. Because Eric Wander swooped in, dropped some Ember ships, and we appreciate it. Because like Eric pops up and suddenly more people have emojis and all the other perks. Like member streams and early access to videos and a shit ton of member exclusive videos. And if you go for the top tier of membership, which is only slightly more than the mid-level, which gives you all that behind the scenes access stuff, then you also get behind the scenes photos and updates and things, which I'm doing my best to do more of, but again, very busy. I'm trying my best, folks. But there are additional perks beyond what the gift membership comes with. Or if you don't care about any of that, there's also a discounted version where it's just the emojis. If all you want is the cool emojis voted on by the members, you can do that. It's only 99 cents a month. And you get
That's
to
not
show off
bad
your
at all.
emojis in the chat. So, there's something for everybody. And I appreciate people supporting.
Yes.
Oh, goodness.
Like,
All right,
comment,
enough marketing
subscribe,
for the
get
moment.
super chats
Oh, yeah, super chats are
and
nice
all
too.
that stuff.
Yeah, and super thanks.
Support.
If you're watching
Yeah.
in the future, that's a thing it's like a super chat after the fact.
Oh, I
I
didn't even
know
know they had
everybody
such a
forgets about
thing.
those, but YouTube has them. And
I didn't
yeah,
even know that. Okay.
yeah.
Wow.
I try to shout them out in the next video, whatever the next
Okay.
video is, but
Okay.
a lot of times, people are everywhere in the community going back and forth and whatnot. And so very often a person may not see their super thanks shouted out because they didn't catch the
Okay.
next video. And then they think it went
Yeah.
unrecognized, and that's unfortunate. And then a bunch of other people never see that video and so don't realize that super thanks are a thing. It just, you know. Al says,
Lots of
Rubik's, didn't know
love.
who you were an Ember fan. Actually, Rubik's and I were talking before the eclipse about where to go to set up for the eclipse because, at least at the time, Rubik's was working with NASA directly in the path of the eclipse. So yeah, it was a whole thing.
Well, lots of love, Amber. I
Yay.
will see you tomorrow. Chat. Bye. I'll see you later.
Yeah, happy
I
trails,
am.
safe
Thank you.
journeys.
Thank you.
Doodles.
Toodles.
Now good luck figuring out. Oh, she found it. I'm like, good luck figuring out how to leave. The first time I was in, this is a restream studio, if you can't tell by the layout. The first time I was in one, it took me like 5 minutes to figure out how to leave the damn room. I finally ended up just closing the browser window. I just Rubik says I still work there. Okay, cool. Cool beans, cool beans. Al says, cool, I know Rubik's from a tangential set of communities. Yeah, there's a lot of overlap between the audiences in the various skeptic space and whatnot, which is one of the reasons that I keep a list. I love lists. I keep a list of every skeptical and humanist creator I know of on my website, betterthanember.com, right here under the creators tab. There's a list of skeptics, humanists, and science friends. Every channel I know of, there's over 100 of them. As long as they're not evil, they're up there for your convenience, for your perusal. And if you're looking for someone, they're probably there. If they're not, let me know so I can find them and add them, because I want, like everything else on my website, I want it to be a resource for you, and I mean, I literally have resources. There's this page of resources. I've got GSM people's resources, cishet resources, more trans resources, academic statements, all sorts of stuff. And then there's this page called Gender Sci, which has literally every study that I've referenced more than once. mostly pertaining to gender science, but also intersex science and other things that come up from time to time. Like, for example, the link to Bible contradictions on lying for Jesus. That's up there. There's a bunch of stuff that you may find useful, if any you wanta. Perhaps. Okay, let's switch back over here and let's learn more about the Morrigan, which I still mispronounced, but it's fine.
The Morrigan is one of the most feared and complicated figures in Irish mythology. She's usually shown as a goddess of war, fate, and death. Unlike other gods, she doesn't offer comfort or protection. Instead, she shows up on the battlefield or in dreams, bringing dark warnings of death and destruction. The name Morrigan appears in both Old Irish and Middle Irish, where it's Morrigan, and there's been a lot of debate about the origins of her name, mainly over...
I like how she hangs out with what's obviously a raven or a crow. It gives Odin vibes. And I mean, we know Odin is a younger god who got added to the pantheon later, despite being the Allfather who created the world in the first place. And his thing with the ravens is one is thought and the other is memory. And that, I've never been able to prove it, but that really, really vibes me as a thing that was taken from other religions and incorporated into Norse mythology. But as with many things, I could be mistaken.
the first part, Mor. In Old Irish, Mor can mean phantom. According to linguist Whitley Stokes, this word is related to the Anglo-Saxon word mare, which we still use today with the word nightmare. In the Middle Irish period, the word was frequently spelt.
Here, I had always assumed nightmare came from Latin, as in like the modern term night, but the Latin term mare meaning ocean. You know, like the lakes on the moon are called like Mare Imbrium and so forth because they thought they were lakes, that sort of thing. I don't know why I thought that though, but I'm learning shit all the time.
Mor, with the accent over the O, which means great. The second part of her name, Rigan, means queen, which comes from the Latin regina. So her name could either mean phantom queen or great queen, but most sources prefer great queen.
I mean, why not both, honestly? If you are a phantom queen, you are also automatically a great queen. Oh, I'm so damn tiny. But if I do it this way and we're equal size, then it's hard to see details in the video. I don't know. Maybe, nope, not this one. I'm still tiny. Oh, well, the video's slightly bigger. So we'll just go with this for now. It's fine.
Her presence in the myths always seems to carry a sense of dread, especially for warriors. If she crosses your path, it's rarely a good sign. In ancient Irish stories, she often foretells the death of warriors by appearing in different forms, sometimes as a beautiful woman, other times as an ominous creature like a raven or crow. She also appears in visions.
So sometimes she is the raven or crow. That's fun. I wonder what happens if I switch to vertical stream orientation in the middle of a running stream. I kind of want to push the button, you know, for science. Let me catch up to live on my life so I can see what the hell happens, because there is like a 41-second delay, and this could go very badly, but I can't resist. And orientation selection not available while live. Well, I love that it's called orientation selection. See, it is a choice, apparently. Oh well, let's continue.
As an old washerwoman, cleaning the bloody clothes of those about to die. She changes her form to manipulate the emotions of those who encounter her. Before a battle, she may appear as a beautiful and enticing figure, provoking warriors' bloodlust and driving them to fight with reckless abandon.
I mean, men have fought to their death over a whole lot less. Just saying. Karen says, "Great queen of the vagina." I mean, probably. It's probably true. And I'm being encouraged. Granted, we already tried the button, but again, there's a tremendous delay, both from me to you and then you back to me. But Elle says, "Fuck, Ember, that's a dare." And Jester says, try it. Y'all are Oh, and even Karen's like, push it, push it. I mean, there's a button, and I want to see what it does. So I kind of want to push it. I did push it though, and alas, nothing happens while we're live. Ah, so rude.
At other times, she shifts into a hideous form, invoking terror and despair into those who are fated to die. It's through her shapeshifting that she can exert control over the battlefield. Whatever her form, it signals the same grim fate, that death is near.
Dun dun dun.
But the Morrigan isn't just the bringer of death, she controls it. In many ways, she represents the forces of fate, especially for those who enter battle.
That's what I was alluding to earlier with the whole thing about speaking of fate. See, I actually do know what I'm doing sometimes with like the segues and things. I try. It doesn't always work, but I try.
Doesn't simply watch the outcome, she influences it. In many ways, she represents the forces of fate, especially.
Al says, if it's under a plexiglass cover, you have to slam it down. And if you want to slam it down, head on over to unavailable.com and enter the code word Brentley to get 50% off almost any one item, 6 free movies, 3 free gifts, and free shipping on your whole order. Not my ad. I am not sponsored, but our friend Brentley is, and so I stole his ad because it amuses me. I hope y'all enjoy. And I also hope y'all enjoy using that code if you're into that sort of thing.
Especially for those who enter battle. She doesn't simply watch the outcome, she influences it. Whether through prophecies, indirect influence, or direct actions, the Morian plays a key role in deciding who lives and who dies.
I thought this whole video was about the Morrigan. I don't. Maybe there's a trio involved. Maybe there's a trinity. Oh goodness! And if you want to lick the stream, yes, please do. Please do help yourselves to the various YouTube buttons. There are many buttons. The lick is the one of them, but also the subscribe. If you haven't, please do. It helps the channel, and it tells the YouTube algorithm that you want to see more of this, that you want to come back here tomorrow and the day after and the day after to learn about strange goddesses and make fun of creationists and all the other fun things we get up to over here. And it helps the channel. Have I mentioned that? And also there's the share button. That's right. I do appreciate the hell out of financial support. I really, really do, because that's how I get food and things. But you don't have to send money to support the community and try to help us do what we're doing here. You can use those buttons, including the share button. That's the most powerful button because it gets these videos in front of the eyeballs of people who aren't already part of the community. Like Facebook, for example. I don't know about you, but less than a quarter of my friends on Facebook even know there is a secular community on YouTube, let alone ever open YouTube. So the share button is super, super powerful. Just throwing that out there. Lil says, finally back. What'd I miss? Oh, Lil was busy being in the video about Kali, I imagine. Probably. Could be. Probably.
One of the most notable traits of the Morian is her ability to exist as both one goddess and as 3 goddesses acting together. And this part gets a little confusing, as not only does it—
oh, the triple goddess, right? That's a thing. And also, why the Christians incorporated the Trinity into their mythology, even though they didn't understand what they were copying and doesn't make any sense. This is not the first time that's happened. I've spoken to paleoanthropologists, proto-Assyriologists, I suppose. There is a hypothesis. To my knowledge, it hasn't been confirmed, but I find it compelling that the story of Genesis that was copied into Genesis from the Enuma Elish itself was copied from pre-existing mythology that was originally war propaganda. But the people who copied it didn't understand it. They didn't know what it was for, which is why the story of Genesis does not mesh with the rest of the Bible. because they saw someone else with a cooler legend and just yoinked it without understanding the literary and metaphorical context of the story. So they changed it and they fucked it up. Possibly.
Depend on where in Ireland you get your story from, but also because most of what we know about these myths were written by Catholic monks, adding their own flavour to the story.
That's true. A lot of Irish mythology comes to us because of the monasteries, right? Like after Patrick the murdering bastard from England came through in around the 3rd century, they killed off most of the holy people and many of the elderly wise folk who knew all the ancient stories. So we only have a few bits and pieces that still remain. Although some of it has been written down. The Book of Kells is one place where there's some of the mythology, but a lot of it, it's the Catholic monks. And they like to take credit. We preserved the history. I mean, yeah, after you killed off all the people who knew the history, but, we have to take what we can get at this point. C'est la vie. But they did interpolate a few bits and pieces here and there.
It's thought that originally the Mauryan was 3 separate goddesses, a title rather than a specific figure, and that later, when the stories were written, they became a
Al says these works of art are pretty cool. I mean, they're AI, and so I'm morally against them, but at the same time, they are pretty cool, yes. Aesthetically, they are quite pleasing.
tripartite goddess. As the 3 daughters of Ernmas, the mother goddess, they went by the collective name Morinja. The 3 names of the Morinja were most commonly Baiv, Macha, and Nevin, though in some...
Now, this is a thing that comes up in a lot of ancient cultures, where you'll have 3 divine beings who are similar in many ways, and sometimes they get mushed together into a single divine being as like an over title of the whole group. Like the goddess is actually a council of goddesses sort of thing. A similar thing happened with El versus Elohim in the Hebrew mythology, whereas like the Elohim originally was the entire pantheon of El and his 70 sons, but at a certain point was shifted to mean like the concept of God, like the Holy Spirit, I suppose Christians would call it, something like that. So it shifts and changes because cultures are fluid like that.
versions, Nevin is thought to be Danu or Anand. Baiv is always portrayed as a crow or raven, which is likely where the Mauryan gets her association with death, as the crow is almost always seen before and after battle. Some suggest that after each battle,
the crows know they can see a battle coming, and so they gather and they like curse the losers or something. I don't know, but yeah, crows definitely show up after a battle. Maybe when humans were constantly beating the crap out of each other in bloody war-torn fields, the crows figured out, because they are very smart birds, ask Sumami, they figured out the humans were going to make some more corpses for them to eat.
were given an hour before they were collected, so that the Mauryan could collect their souls and transport them to the afterlife. Next we have Macha. Macha was a representation of fertility, and in her human form she was described as a beautiful woman, but in her natural form she was considered to be the land itself. That being said, she was also associated...
This is sort of what I was hinting at before with the reconstruction of thing, how often the land itself was conceptualized as a goddess because of the whole nurturing thing.
with warfare, especially preserving the nation's sovereignty. And finally, we have the third sister, Mauryan, or depending on the source, was either called Nevin, Anand, or Danu. It was this
a Danu! I'm shooketh!
sister who was associated with the frenzied havoc of war, and played a part in the battle between the Tuatha De Danann and the Fomorians, which we'll come to later. The difference in the name likely comes from the regional variations in local legends. However, despite these differences, the Mauryan's role as a powerful figure of war and fate remains the same, always influencing the chaos of battle.
Well, remember, divine beings are an aspect. They're they're not quite a personification, but something like that of the culture they arise from. And we see this universally. Whatever the culture's values are, they get deified, whether it's a single all-powerful, mutually contradictory being or a pantheon of different beings representing different aspects of the values and philosophies of the host culture. And this really goes to show the heart of what it means to be Irish. There's very, very much fertility and flourishing, but also absolute terrifying war. You know, it's a thing.
In the Leibhar Gabála Éireann, more commonly known as the Book of Invasions, the Morian is mentioned as one of the Tuatha Dé Danann, a tribe of magical people in Irish mythology.
So there's stuff here too. The Tuath were a real people. However, they've been mythologized. And so the mythological version of the Tuath are magical people, but they're loosely based on transmitted oral histories of a group of people who did actually live and did actually invade what's now Britain and fight the other people who were already living there, the four more giants, who were basically just tall people. It's a whole thing. The history is fascinating, but I'm not going to get into all of that today.
When the Tuatha Dé arrived in Ireland, they faced opposition from groups that had settled there earlier, including two supernatural races, the Firbolg and the Fomorians. The Tuatha Dé quickly found themselves in conflict with the Firbolg, leading to two intense battles. There were two battles of Moitura, or Cach Moitura. In the first battle, the Morian and her sisters used their magic to aid in the fight. They cast spells that wreaked havoc on the battlefield. It was then that Baith and
Fomorians, Bree says. What did I say? I probably said the wrong thing. I'm very good at saying the wrong thing. Famously so. Oh, my head is so tiny in this little court. It's fine. On a phone, I'm tiny anyway. It's all good. It's all good. Marty is here. Marty says, I've worked with the Morgan before. She is no joke. Now, is she actually really proper? Because since there's this whole she is the name for a group of goddesses, wouldn't it be they are no joke? Or maybe I'm overcomplicating things with modern terminology. I'm probably, yeah. Marty says you should read the Mabinogion. It has great stories. That name sounds enticing. It kind of makes me think of Mabon, but it also makes me think of I forget her proper name, but she's been called Queen Mab, the sorceress who did battle. Okay, so tangent time. In Arthurian legend, there's the wizard Merlin. In folk legends that precede the Arthurian legend, Merlin is a title, not a name. And the greatest Merlin, spoken of in legend, was named Taliesin. And Taliesin got into a sorceress duel with Queen Mab. I forget her proper name, but she is called Queen Mab in some of the legends. TLDR, the legendary magician's duel depicted in Disney's The Sword in the Stone, told of in the song The Blacksmith, about shape-shifting sorcerers who keep trying to one-up each other with their different forms. Long and the short of it, Taliesin turns into either a bug or a kernel of corn, depending. And so Mab turns into a chicken and eats him, and she wins. But when she changes back, she's pregnant with Taliesin. And months later, she gives birth to him, and he is reborn. And yeah, Merlin. It's pretty fucking cool.
Acha and Morian sent forth magical showers of sorcery and compact clouds of mist.
Lil says, help, 3 dogs are on me. It's a lick fest I can't escape from. Oh my. And if you want to get into a lick fest, go to adamandeve.com. Oh no, I banished my own banner. Oh, what have I done? What have I done? I am terrible at this job. But that's why we're doing, instead of doing through OBS like I usually do, we're using this software so I can find all the bugs, so I can figure out what the hell I'm doing, so that when it comes time for the debate review this weekend, when I have to have, like, bringing Mark on for the debate review, I can do through OBS, but adding another guest, John Gleason, Godless Engineer, will be joining us. I'm like, I need a software that actually hosts guests, because my poor computer... Deviant, there you are. We were talking about Egyptian goddesses earlier. Lion blood-drinking ones who were Ra's eyeballing things. We were like, where's Deviant? We need Egyptology. Morgana. I think that that sounds right, but that also could be Morgana as in King Arthur's mother. So I may be crossing the wires. I'm not even on the damn screen. I'm gesturing wildly, and you can't even see me. I may be crossing wires with my legends there. I'm not entirely sure.
A furious rain of fire, with a downpour of red blood from the air on the warriors' heads. After the first battle, the Tuatha De Danann were victorious and managed to secure their place in Ireland. But peace didn't last for long, as the Fomorians proved to be much more formidable an enemy in the second Battle of Moytura. As the Tuatha De prepared for this second battle, the Dagda, one of their leaders, sought out his wife, our good friend the Maureen, for a prophecy.
He's married to the goddess. I mean, of course he is. That's what makes him High King, right? But like, holy crap. Holy crap. Deviant says, what the? Why? I've told you to wait for me. I mean, Deviant, I've said several times that I'm going to be in this time slot all week. You know when the show is. No, we appreciate you popping by whenever you can, whenever you feel like it, really. That's sort of the thing that I did. Like, even the people who join me on screen from time to time, who are the same people from Java and Jugs, by the way. I put an invitation out, and I'm like, if you want to pop in, just pop in. Like, it's fine. It's cool. Because apparently this software can hold up to 10 guests. I don't know if that includes me, if it includes the screen share, but I can hold people. It's fine. It's fine. Deviant says, can we go back? Can I come on, answer all your questions, and just gush over Sekhmet? I mean, we can. We've only got about 13 minutes left of show, but let me see here. Grab a link, and do I have you on Discord, Deviant? I feel like I do. Let me see here. Let me see. Oh, there's a lot of people in my Discord. My good. I found a Deviant. Okay. I will Discord you a link, and if you pop up, then you pop up. Hooray, and things. Aunt Jer says, I think there's naturally some overlap anyway amongst the myths of the same area. Yeah, that makes sense. Absolutely. Fox says the Tri Morrigan may have been the influence for the witches in Macbeth. You are probably right, because their whole thing was fate, right? Like, yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense. Deviant says we can do a special one for that. Possibly. Not tomorrow, though, because I already have tomorrow scheduled, and like, people are planning, at least one people, maybe more, are planning to drop by for that. But we may be able to, I mean, theoretically, we can do it whenever the hell we want. I can do what I want. It's my channel. But like, without disturbing boats and things, we can probably, let me look at what I've got coming up. Let's open the Ember page. And in fact, I will switch tabs so you can see what we're looking at here. This is another perk of channel membership. You get a badge right on the Ember page. Right under, there's what's live, and then members, and then what's live again. So yay. Upcoming. Okay. So tomorrow we've got Kelvin from AIG versus the AI monstrosity. Thursday, we have Waking the Ancients, which has a for science. And then Friday, I don't actually have a firm topic in mind, so I'm just calling it Feminist Friday. We could possibly do it then. I mean, more about Sekhmet. I don't want to mispronounce it because she's terrifying, but Deviant said, I'm thinking with 13 minutes left, you might want to keep your schedule. I'd just be absolutely delighted to. Okay, yeah, let's try to work out a thing. Maybe Friday, maybe a day next week. It'd be really cool because I know a lot of people are very interested in a lot of ancient myths, and ancient Egypt always comes up very, very high. And this intersection with dark goddesses is really compelling for what I'm trying to do with this show. Like every episode, the very first sentence is one secular woman's mid-morning show, because it's not really a morning show, at least for me. But I don't want it to be strictly anti-Christian. I want to explore social issues. I want to explore science issues. Various things, but I want it to be for our community, but also accessible to other people who may wander by, right? Because I want it to be for us, but also entertaining, but also educational when it can be, but also, as much as capitalism pisses me off, I have to try to make this make money because it's the only way I can eat right now. So I have to try to appeal to a broad audience while keeping that core value of a place for us, I don't know if I can juggle all those balls. Balls. But I am going to sure as hell try my best. So we will see. We will see. Marty's taken off. Thank you for dropping by. Hope to see you again soon. Deviant says, I'd love to. And even people who are very interested, I find the information is often skewed a bit. That is definitely a big problem. I mean, I'm broadly familiar with a lot of these stories, especially the Irish myths, but as we're going through the thing, I'm finding there's so much that I've only partially understood or completely misunderstood because it's not properly taught. It's assembled from the zeitgeist, because people don't teach it. And that's, as interested as I am in the future, in where science is going, I very strongly feel we should be just as interested in the past, because there's so much that we have just left in the dustbin of history that we could benefit from, that we could make the world better from. Like, as a one example, chemistry. I know a chemist locally, and I mean, he does other things too, acting specifically, which is how I know him. But there's a lot of active research in the world of chemistry, and people are like, "Oh, chemistry, so 19th century and boring." Well, that's sort of the problem. Like, after Maxwell came out with his equations for electromagnetism, every working scientist shifted over to physics, and we just kind of dropped chemistry right where it was. And it's only now in recent decades we've started to pick it back up again and find sitting right there on the workbench a person, the research journal, they're like one step away from what to us is a next generation battery. Like, that's where lithium ion batteries came from, is somebody went back to a 19th century workbook, you know? And that's just one example of things in the past that we've just dropped as a culture. And I wonder what else there is to be discovered that we have left behind. And it doesn't have to be in an area of science. It can be in religion. It can be in mythology. Again, I reiterate, mythology is how we kept the histories going for generations beyond counting before there was writing. Yeah, the stories are mythologized. Some of them are entirely fictional, but a lot of them are at least based on or pointing at real events, and that's fucking cool. Deviant says, our time here and now is a conglomerate of our past, and only by acknowledging and taking all into account can we truly make a better future for all. That's a good point too. That's a good practical value that we can point to as a valid reason for these things. And we don't actually have to have a reason. Again, this is my show. I can do whatever the hell I want. I don't actually need a reason. But we can give a reason. And sometimes that's useful. But for today, we are just about at the end of the show. And I don't think we can get any further in the video, really, with the time remaining. And yes, I could go long. I don't have anywhere to send everybody. But I also have a fuck ton of stuff to do. And I want to keep these shows somewhat rewatchable so the future people do come and watch them. So I'm doing my best to keep it into a roughly 2-hour window. I'm probably silly. I'm probably doing it completely wrong, and it should be like a 1-hour window or a 4-hour window. And 2 hours is just awful. It's terrible. I don't know. I have no idea. Nobody has any idea how YouTube works. Some people just get very, very lucky. But when it does work, it's because of you folks. And so, as always, I pushed the wrong button again. I'm so good at this. I went to make one image full screen, but the screen share takes priority over my screen, so it bigified that instead of me. Thank you all so much for coming, for joining, for hanging out, for watching, for whatever period you can. Thanks to Eric Wander for dropping memberships. Thanks to... God damn it, I'm in the wrong window again. I did get a super chat, and I don't want to snub you by not recognizing it. So I'm looking. I'm trying to pull it up. Okay, here it is. Lil sent a $5 super chat saying, "Take my damn money. We need you around, Ember." And I appreciate that. I mean, I want to stick around. I appreciate sticking around, but it's nice to know that you folks, some of you, also think so. So, yes, enough blather from me for today. Thank you all so much for coming. I will see you again tonight if you join us over at Misinterpretations. The link is pinned. We're doing her very first live stream. It'll be so cool. But until then, stay safe, and I can't find my damn button. Don't you hate it when you can't find the button? We'll catch you later, folks. Thanks to the top-level members and Patreon supporters for August: Miranda, Karen Butcher, Jessica the Transmetal Alchemist, Robin Webster, Maya Adkisson, Jimmy Tux, Ian Chen, Kalasia, The Barely Bearable Atheist, Eric Wander, Jason Jacoby, The Mighty Filbert, Hunter Biden's Laptops, Larkwright, Greg S., Neurogeezer, Mage Greywolf, Faran Salas, Poor Claire, BTF Wayne, Cosmic Kyle, Bomb Poppy, RDZ, Billy Bongsalot, Marty Cameo, My Unfinished Sock, Austin Sims, Tinker Phil, Anarchic Fox, Sabrina Page, Leslie Hutchings, Gazela Mail, Evil Toe, Right-Handed Sith, Luke, D. Murphy, Jesse, Uncle Charlie, Ryan Cultastic, Kurisu Yamato, Scott Duke, Michael Bell, Sumami, Citizen 9, S. Cook, James Nordoff, Hecklek, Velvet, KCA Randy, B.S. Lewis, Tori Swansiger, Whimsy, Kristen Slays, Godless Engineer, Fern Lovebond, Hillhugger, Karen Butcher, Milwaukee Atheists, Booba Sweat, Maya Adkisson, My Unfinished Studio, Ian Chen Official, Introvert Ancom, Tilting Windmill, Christopher Tablante, Robin Webster, Proby666, Jason T, Action Squad, Robert Madewell, Doc Don Hogg, Jester, Sydney Raptor, Stardust Lilith, Jessica the Transmetal Alchemist, Jake, Insert clever, dapper inside joke here, Nelson, Supercritical Snake, Eli Slack, Geo Sam, Kalasia789, L Trucker, You Are Victoria, Polly Has His Cracker, Roman Weber, Leo Filius, Nikki Pare, Jasper, Yahooligan, and Pinworm. Thank you all so much. I feel energized and grateful that you're part of this community. Thank you.
Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt.